Hey everyone. Okay, today's video is very exciting. We're going to be looking at optimizing a model I purchased online and seeing kind of what some of those steps look like. Now this isn't going to be comprehensive by any stretch, but I thought it could be insightful. Um, so without further ado, let's jump in. All right, so first of all, I bought some pool pong off the internet. It was only $7. The problem with anything that's relatively affordable is they tend to be, well, less than ideal for Horizon. So here's the FBX. There's a couple textures in here. There are no textures, so there's just tons to talk about, to be honest. Like there is no textures. How do you even work with a model with no textures? And I'll just show you kind of like how it works. So we're gonna go ahead and import. Let's go to Slumber Party Pool Pong FBX and import. And so here you can see, there it is. And I'm not sure if they call this vertex painting, but there are different materials. And in those materials, I don't think I can select them without selecting something specific. We can see that this one's painted white. And so if we check, there's only a few, and we can just give these materials different names. And it looks like we really just need blue, white, and red. So we just need 3 materials. And then there is one that has a logo, I believe, right here. Okay, so the secondary problem is if we go to our drop down and click statistics, you can see that this takes up 62,000 vertices. And for an interactive world, you don't really want more than about 250,000 for the entire world. So one little tiny thing taking up most of the world, not a great idea. And there's lots of places to improve this. Like there's a little blowhole here. There's all these extra cups we definitely don't need. Like I'm literally just gonna go and boop, 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 and boop. And now we are down to 49,000, so we just cut 10,000 right there. But it was when I switched into this mode that I knew this was gonna make a good tutorial, because you can see in the wireframe, there are a lot of pretty easy places to optimize. Like look at this right here and see how many extra verts are in this little blue thing. That's crazy. Like genuinely, if you go back to the preview mode, you would think those were painted on lines, but no, it's geometry. And so realistically, those are probably just worth deleting and maybe even rewrapping this white one with a texture, because we've now done tutorials on rewrapping. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to leave those there for now. Let's isolate it and see how much this takes up. You can see it's 4,000 verts. So for both of those, that's another 8,000, which is about 1/5 of the vertices here. So you might be able to get rid of those. Now the cups are pretty important. These will be interactive elements in Horizon. Like I'm going to be animating this to play just like your classic pool pong would. And so we really only need to animate one of these. And we can see that this, or excuse me, we only need to optimize one. We can delete the rest and then duplicate in Horizon because it's going to be scripted and all that. We can see it's at 1600 verts. So with that in mind, we need to lessen this, and I think we'll just start with one of these. So if I'm not mistaken, by pressing Shift D, you've duplicated it. It slides around, but you can lock it to an axis by typing the letter of the axis you want to go on. So X, Y, Z, and I'm pretty sure they use Z for up. There it is. All right, so we moved this cup copy upward, and we can now optimize this and see what happens. And if we hit the period key, this took me forever to find out. I wish this was more known. If you click period while hovering over this view, it does frame selected. I always clicked the item from over here and then clicked period, and it never worked. You have to click in this view. I was like, oh man, this has never worked for me. Anyway, then clicking on my middle mouse button, my scroll wheel, I can then look around pretty nicely. So now that we've got this looked at, we can see what it looks like. We're now going to try to optimize it. Going to the modifiers, you can add a decimate modifier, which is under generate. You can also just type it in, which is pretty fast. Decimate, boom. And then the first one you kind of want to try is this unsubdivide. If it works for the model, that's amazing. If it doesn't, that sucks. But anyway, we'll switch to viewport shading wireframe so you can see that I don't know what this is going to do. I literally have no idea. But we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. So if I hit 1, can I watch this? I didn't see anything change. Let's go back. Phase count didn't change. So I don't think for this model specifically that there is an option to unsubdivide. So let's go to Planar is probably my favorite. Like, look at that. I mean, seriously, look at that. Just instantaneously amazing. We can see it's dropped to 481. It's now 800 verts. Like, literally just with one click. Now, what this does, if we switch back over here, is it says if the angle is less than 5 degrees, merge the faces. And so it's just merged those faces. Be careful. I got to remember that after we're done, we need to triangulate. Horizon needs triangulation, and I believe the planar can create n-gons, so that's dangerous. N-gons are not supported by Horizon. They're anything greater than a quad. If you bring a quad into Horizon, it automatically triangulates it, so that's okay. But yeah, 800 is still not enough. This is like, there are so many cups. There's what, 5, no, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so 20 cups total, so that's 20 times 8, that's 16,000 verts still if we just went with this. So we can make this better. We can make this better. I want to see if it looks good still. If we go over here, we can see that it still looks good on the outside. I would almost say it doesn't even look changed. Let's switch over here. I don't think I can even tell the difference. We're probably getting worse lighting. So just to be very clear, like the lighting on this is going to be a lot worse, but it's a small cup. We don't need to be that worried. Also, it's just like, that's not our worry right now. If you were making this massive though, like if this was going to be huge in your world, you might actually need to subdivide it and add more vertices so that the lights would actually shine on it properly. Anyway, let's jump up to 15 degrees. All right, so now we're starting to get some ugliness. Like this is starting to break down on us. It's definitely a lot worse. Let's go to 5 and see the difference. So we go 5. There we go. So a lot more edges. And then if we go to 15, we go from 800 down to 463. So now we've halved this. And I think we're getting a little bit of holes up here. Clicking this hand tool, I can drag and slide up. Let's go ahead and look. Yeah, we're getting some ripping of some form up here. Let's try going to 10 degrees. Okay, 10 degrees is feeling all right. Still 762 though, so it didn't actually change much. Okay, so let's click period. So we got frame selected, looking around again. Feeling all right with 10 degrees. Not exactly sure this is the way to go, but it's not a bad option. So let's go ahead and take a look at collapse and see what we can do with collapse. Now, the problem is partly because there's so much detail with these edges having this kind of perfect red solo cup look, which is a compliment, I think. If we go to collapse, we can then drag our ratio down, and that will slowly but surely mess up our model until we get something unusable. All right. So there's 141, 200. All right, that is the closest or the lowest we can go with it mildly still looking like a cup. We've got some weird oddities happening. It looks like we're running into some of the, if you go to your materials tab, the roughness is set to 0. If you slide that up to 100%, now you won't see those weird reflections and you'll start to see what it actually looks like. We definitely see some weird lighting issues happening. I think these will mildly come into Horizon with us. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting challenge. Working with FlexTie, this is something where I might actually lean on him as a 3D modeler to make a better brand new cup. And, you know, let's see what this looks like on the wireframe. You know, like we got this center thing that's just not getting destroyed. The top is just kind of chaos. Like realistically, this could be 2 cylinders with like a base. And I'm just not a 3D modeler, so I don't even know where to start with that. So this might be something where I'm just like, okay, we just need a 3D modeler to do this, but better. 292 isn't bad though. Let's go back to preview mode. Definitely feel like we're getting some ripping here. Like some pretty bad. Yeah, that's not good. It's not good. I'm I'm really feeling like the only thing I can do for this for today is to use planer and keep it at 10 degrees. I mean, we could try going to 20 degrees and see what happens. But yeah, it's just starting to lose too much. So 10 degrees is the way to go. We haven't lost anything. Theoretically, we can always come back and make a better one. We're at 762 verts, which is better than nothing. So going to, I think for the sake of this tutorial, delete this one and see if I can't do this to all of them at the same time. I've never done more than one at the same time, so I don't know if this is even possible, but selecting all 20 of these. All right, there they are. See, that's at 32,000. Heading to add modifiers, searching for decimate, switching to planar, switching to 10 degrees, and going to the drop down and hitting apply. There we go. So we can now see that should have applied. Let's click on one of those. No, that definitely did nothing. I don't know if maybe you can't apply it to multiple at a time. Did I get one of them at least? Let's see. Okay, so it did the last one I selected. Got it. I'm wondering if there's anything I could do about that. Let's go view frame selected. Looks good. Can't even tell the difference. Darn it. What am I thinking? I am thinking that this is where I want to go looking for a way to apply it to multiple at a time, and I'm sure there is. So if you know, feel free to leave a comment and share that. But for everyone else, you can just hit decimate, planar, 10 degrees. I feel like there should be a way to copy this. Copy to selected. Copy the modifier from the active object to all selected objects. Oh, I feel like that's what we were trying to do. Let's go Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and get to the point where we have all of them selected again. There we go. Control Z. Okay, here it is. And then click copy to selected. Nice. 3 dots. Apply modifiers and remove from the stack. Apply. That worked. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Hopefully you guys caught that. We just applied it to all of them. Now let's check them. Boom. There we go. So now our item is down to 30,000 verts, so we're making some good progress now. So next up we've got this guy, this big ol' floaty. And I think for this floaty, what we're going to want to do is decimate it as well. So let's go back to our wireframe view. We're going to ignore these heavy parts in the center, and we're just going to go straight to adding that modifier again, generate. Oh, I forgot to go and triangulate these. Need to remember to triangulate that. Okay, we'll come back to it. Add modifier, generate, decimate, and we'll try unsubdivide. I don't think this is going to do anything though. We're at 7,000. It went down by just like a couple. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, this is not the way. Because of the weird shape, I'm almost feeling like collapse is the way to go, but let's try planar. Ooh, 5 degrees. Did that drop it in half? 7,000 down to 3,000. That's more than half because it's just long straight strips. Wow, that worked out really well. That worked out really well. Let's go to visualize mode. Go to before, after. Use a little bit of the shape. The biggest thing you're seeing is kind of like the lighting because it's getting smoothed out. Let's see, before, after. I mean, might be able to settle with that for now. Let's try 10 degrees. Okay, I mean that's seeming okay still. It's starting to get a little bit clunky in certain places. Let's see, what did this look like before and after? Before, it's like it's just done something weird right here on the edges. Also, this will never be seen from the bottom. Genuinely, like this is going to be a, wow, could someone could theoretically get down. Like if you go down and look, try to look there, it just will not be viewable. It'll be see-through, and I think that would be okay because it's not planning to be something that you can lift up or anything. So we could get rid of the bottom half. So, and that would give us the ability to say, let's go with 5 degrees because it looks slightly better, right? The edges don't get as warped. And then we're at 3,000, but we can still delete the bottom. And we haven't seen what's happening here. Let's drag over. See the wireframe. Ooh, is that not even part of this? Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's something else, isn't it? That's gonna be great. We can just delete that. I cannot wait. That's gonna be so good. Okay, so happy about that. Also, I was planning to get rid of these cups. I just don't know how. I got some ideas, but I don't know how. So for now, let's go to, if you click the, oh, let's first apply this. Go ahead and hit apply. Then we should also name this and call this the float. Okay, so going down to float. What we're going to do next is flip it on the Z, minus Z. And from the minus Z, we should be able to switch to edit mode. And I need to turn off X-ray. Do I have X-ray on? Is this X-ray? Yeah, toggle X-ray off. And then theoretically, I'm in face mode now. Select these faces. There we go. And let's go look around. Looks like I've only selected the bottom side. Like I could get more accurate than this, but just for the sake of argument, right click, delete faces. There we go. Switch back to preview mode. And we can see that it's not there anymore. What we do want to do is go to our material settings, and I don't know where they've put this. There used to be a button here. There it is. Backface culling. Boom. Okay. So now on this object specifically, you can see that it's being backface culled. I haven't backface culled the rest of the objects, but what that means is it's invisible from underneath. And we could, from edit mode, continue selecting faces like this one, right click, delete face, and then there's a ton of these over here. And when we align with the minus Z, theoretically, that should only select the bottom faces. Does appear that it got, oh, hold up, let's try this again. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay, let's try this one more time. Align with the negative Z, select all, now fly around. All right, it kind of looks like we got a couple of these. I'm really wishing I knew how to unselect stuff. It feels like that should be pretty easy. So if we go like X view, X-ray, and then, oh yeah, that would totally work. Oh, that's the opposite. Try shifting, selecting again. Alt select. It feels like there's got to be a thing here. Why is that not control? Oh, it's control. Okay, we got it. So theoretically, if I just drag this down, I can unselect everything except for that base. Now if we go back to minus Z view, we can see that we got that. Taking a quick look around it with my, ooh, missed a couple. So it's control click. Ooh, no. Control Z. Oh, no. What did I do? Oh, no. That was not what I wanted. Control click, shift click. Oh, boy. We're going to try this again. I'm not sure how I've selected that. Switch back to object mode. Okay, I've unselected that now. Clicking our float. Going back to edit mode. Going from underneath. X-ray is off. X-ray allows you to select things through objects for reference. Going back to the X view, zooming in, switching to X-ray, so that's why it didn't work. Okay, yep, then control, drag, sliding down to right about there, deselected, very nice. Go back to the minus Z view, turn off X-ray, and let's take a look. Period on my number pad to frame select. Looks like I've just got the bottom. Kind of want to get rid of that, so control, drag through. There we go. Another one here, control, drag through. I'm a little worried that I've gone too high with it. think I need to go down one more. Maybe not. Let's go to preview. Yeah, that extra edge is going to be necessary. So if I go back to X view and then control drag, should be able to do that right there. All right, and then keep looking around it. There we go. It's hard to tell what's selected. It's a little bit tedious, obviously. Oh, I didn't have it in X-ray mode, so I needed to go to the opposite X view. Control click. Should really just turn X-ray back on. Try that again. X-ray on. Okay, I think I've unselected everything. Just keep spinning around. I'm gonna go back to wireframe because it's easier to see. Like there's a few I probably unselected that would be nice to keep. Having some bumps on the bottom wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But like these are personal choices you kind of got to make. So like if I go back to minus Z mode and then hit control, I could just bring these faces back so that you can see parts of the bump. But then like what have I been doing here this whole time? Like the first thing I did was close enough. Because ideally then you can kind of see the bump from the edge depending on like how far away you are. So if you're really far away, you get to see the bump. I don't know, man. I am really tripping. So easy to overthink this. Oh, man. I don't know the answer. And there is no right answer, and that's part of the problem. Like, I am of the mindset that there's always a right answer, and this is tough because there isn't. Sorry for the blurriness. So what do I do? We have 168 verts selected. I gotta admit, that's very little. I think what I'm doing is a waste of time. Let's go Control Z. I had 300 total that I could get rid of. There's gonna be some kid who gets down on the ground in real life and looks at it. We're just gonna leave it. There are better places to optimize. It is definitely these little rings here that are the most expensive. So if I select right here, X-ray needs to be turned off. Try again. Select right here. And instead of being in face mode, I switch to vertex mode. Then I'll select the vertices by doing this. There we go. And now if I click period, I can frame select this. And we're going to see, I think everything is, oh no, I see. Frame selected and then go to Z above view. There we go. And then shift drag through to get the bottom ones. It's kind of hard to see the bottom ones because I need to break free of the perspective by pressing down on my thing and trying to look around a little bit. Now we can see the inside, so try that again. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this whole cup selected, and I believe I haven't done this. I'm very novice, guys. So there's a feature called dissolve verts, which will like merge the geometry where the verts are missing. See that? Was that just like the craziest thing ever? I can't believe that just worked. Now this is an in-gon. We will need to subdivide this using triangulate in a little bit. But dang. But dang. All right, so now just repeat that 7 more times. I'm probably gonna try to do them all at the same time, but I'll be right back. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm gonna do them one at a time because it's too much work to like try to select them all at the same time, just for reference. Oh, just kind of like working through this, I'm discovering cool tricks. Like I can grab the hand tool to move around, which kind of works, kind of. Yeah, there, it totally works. Then I can select those and right click, dissolve verts. Very nice. And then do that again. Yeah, this is getting quick. I mean, I really didn't intend to show you this tedious like thing, but it's okay. And then like as I'm going through, I'm even thinking to myself that there's all these other verts I could potentially do. So right click, dissolve verts. Now the problem is, of course, that now we have no verts on this side, and we really need to triangulate. So we'll come back to that. I need to go back to Z down, and slide over with the hand tool. Get nice and centered on this one. And then I'm going to press my middle mouse button or the scroll wheel. Click. Yeah, very nice. It's like I'm getting good. I've just been learning so much in Blender recently, unintentionally, just because I needed to for this world that we're building. But as you can tell, it's valuable. Like there's lots of good use for it. Super important, and being able to customize things to make it your own is something I'm just really, really enjoying. Missed one. There we go. Right click, dissolve verts. I mean, that's so easy. I cannot wait to triangulate this and see how we did. So close, so close. Last one, dissolve verts. There we are. Okay, not bad. So now the moment of truth. When we look at this float, we're down to 2,700, which feels really good, right? Right? That was worth it, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure if I do Control Z, there's Control Shift Z. So one of those was 48 verts. So we did that for 8 times. So that's 400 verts. I mean, it feels like we could have done better. Oh, it's because there's tons of these holes everywhere. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Oh, you know the one place that I did want to try to dissolve is right here, actually. Boop. Dissolve verts. Nice. That works. All right, triangulation time. Control A. I don't think we need to be in edit mode. We need to go back to object mode. Okay, now we're in object mode. We'll go to the, what do they call that anyway? Wireframe view. And from wireframe, we can now go to our tools, modifier. This is also under generate. It's the triangulate. You can also use search, which is pretty fast. Triangulate. There we go. And look at it, it's done. Now, you got to understand that these triangles are awful. It just kind of does its thing. It makes it compatible. But these triangles are awful. And what I mean by that is you can see they're huge, and lighting just does not work if this is what the topology looks like. So this is called topology. And topology is important for lighting and making sure it looks good. You tend to need to subdivide, like these bigger ones especially. I'm not going to do that. That is definitely a more advanced task that I would leave to someone much more skilled than I, like FlexDye. So anyway, we've done good. Now the cups also need to be triangulated. Let's go ahead and apply this one real quick. And apply, head back to preview mode. Still looks good. It's got some bumpiness, but I mean, that's what it's a float. It's supposed to be bumpy. I want to know, have we done right-click shade smooth? It appears that it is already shade. Turn off keep sharp edges. Is that smoother? It's hard to tell because of the reflection. It won't be that reflective in horizon. So roughness all the way up. And then let's go right-click shade flat. Right-click shade auto smooth. Right-click shade smooth. Yeah, I think we go with shade smooth. There's one other thing I might want to do in edit mode first on this. Don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but just in case, you see these hard edges? I think that's probably what the problem is. It's got this really hard edge on the top, which is fine. But I am going to right-click and merge verts by distance, or you can go mesh, merge by distance, remove 0 vertices. Okay, so it didn't do anything, which is fine. I'm just kind of curious if that might have smoothed out this little edge here on the top. Okay, so doing good. Remember, we started at 60,000, so down to 27,000, not bad. Now we have these guys, which we know take up a pretty huge proportion at 8,000. That'll bring us down to 18,000 verts. And let's see, what are all these circles? These circles are the cups. Those are all cups. And then this and this are those two things. Float. This is, what is this? Is this the logo page? Why can't I see it? Off and on. Don't see anything. That could be the logo. Let's go to base color, image texture, open image, go to pool pong, textures, logo. Doesn't appear to be that. Grab whatever it is. And I don't even see a slide tool. Used to seeing a slide tool. Oh, this is this thing. Oh yeah, well, I was gonna delete that anyway. Yeah, this guy can just go. Right click, delete hierarchy. Boom, good. Okay, how much did that save us? Control Z, that was 1,000. Nice, we'll take it. Take 1,000 verts wherever we can get them. Okay, looking good. Am I crazy or did I miss a cup here? Is that a shadow? What am I looking at? Let's go back to... I totally missed one. Well, oops. Switch back to the float and go to edit mode and then go to top down view, slide over, zoom in, slide over, click with my mouse wheel. There we go. Switch to yeah, we are in vert selector. Maybe go to preview mode, unselect everything. Select just these verts, right click to dissolve verts, zoom out, go back to object mode, go to modifiers, generate, triangulate. There we go, preview that. Here we go, you can see that's been triangulated nicely. Okay, another 50 verts. I was like, why is there a cup there? How did I miss that one? Okay, very nice. And let's go ahead and hit apply. All right, so these are all cups, which means the last things to do are these two. I wonder if this is where the logo is supposed to go. Like that would explain the really high, but that doesn't explain the color because the color is definitely supposed to look like that. So I'm not sure where the logo is supposed to be going. Like, I'm not sure where that was supposed to go. If I go to float, preview mode, if we go to UV editing, we can see that all, let's click A. Yeah, these UVs are all over the place. We're just gonna use a simple white so it won't do anything, won't matter. Those UVs are really all over the place. But we were thinking about getting rid of these blue ones, and what we can do to make that come back is very interesting here. So if we go to, I'm gonna try to do this all in Blender, and then if worst comes to worst, we'll jump into Paint. I know, seriously. We've got these blue lines here, and so from UV, you can call a cube projection. Might be okay. No, not okay. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not what we're looking for. UV, the one that I really want to do is just project from view. Project from view is the one I like to use. And so now it's projected this way. And what's interesting about this is you can select all of these from over here, press A, then grabbing the scale tool, you can scale this to fill the entire texture. So the edges of this are the texture edges. And now that that's done, we needed to do this anyway. We needed to create a texture for this. So from materials, we're going to create a new texture. To do that, we're going to go to, and we can see just for reference that this is centered and we want to put lines down the center. So we're going to go to texture paint. We're going to make sure to get this view back where we had it. So zooming in and then going to preview, viewport shading preview. Then zooming in here, we're going to create a new texture. I'm going to make this, got to have some detail so it doesn't get blurry in horizon. So 256, 256. It's okay. In fact, I very rarely would go to 512, but because it's going to be solid colors, it just won't be that intense. So we're going to grab our value, make it white, press new image. And now this is where things get really exciting because we can now paint it. We have paint hard. This is where I really want to go into Blender, or excuse me, and I want to go into paint to do this. I really do, and so we're going to. So I'm going to show you just a lot of tricks today, I guess. This is kind of a day in my life working in Blender. I've definitely spent multiple days recently just having to learn all this stuff. It's fun, but it's tough too. So first thing we need to do is click image, and then there is an option called, is it from the UV tab? It must be from the UV tab. Switch to UV editing, UV, export UV layout, there it is. We're gonna put this in pool pong and we'll call it float PNG, but I'm actually gonna call it float underscore BR to prepare it for being imported into Horizon, and then press export UV layout. And then over here, if we go back to layout view, and we're gonna just turn off these boxes for a second. So this is what it looks like without those, and that's, you know, a ton less geometry. In fact, we really don't need those. But for the sake of argument, if we go to our float and we go to our material, base color, image texture, then open the image texture from pool pong, float BR, press open image, you'll now see all of these UVs are laid out on it. Obviously that's not what we want, although that could be a really cool look. Like there's definitely a place where showing off the edges might be something you want to do. Not for us though, period view frame selected. But now all we have to do is update this image and then refresh it here in Blender. So it's time to go into our pool pong folder, jumping up to pool pong, we have our float BR, right click, and then we're gonna open that in Paint. Now Paint, fortunately, has a layers system, which is the main reason I want to go into Paint right now. And I'm going to drag this to right into the full screen, there we go, and shrink that down just a hair. Okay, so now that we have this up in front of us, we can go to the layers view, and down here we can turn off the background transparency to make it white. We've got this layer that we're going to turn off when we're done. We just hit the turn off button. So we're going to add a new layer on top of it. And if you go to the cube drawing rectangle button and we choose a cool color, I'm thinking I want to go red versus blue makes the most sense to me. So we grab our red, and I'm thinking we try to make this the red side. Now, I'm going to jokingly say I'm not much of an artist, and I'm not bad. We'll just say that. But we're going to draw some lines, just some straight lines. And we want to make sure that background fill is turned on, so make sure to change that to solid. That means we also need to set our background fill, this one here, to red. And I'm kind of thinking we can kind of see these are the hard edges. So something like this could do. I want to make it thick but not too thick. Control Z. Let's try that one more time. I'm not sure how long I was in Paint. It was awful. It was awful. It's still awful, but okay, we're done with Paint. Here is the current model. So the problem is these cups are awful and they just take up so much. I mean, 15,000 verts just for those cups. And it makes sense. I mean, they're round objects. So I think in this case, we need to do something a little bit more dramatic. I do think the right approach is to have a 3D modeler remodel this, or like maybe even Google search and see if you can find a low poly red solo cup. Search. Let's see. Turbo Squid. I just want right click, open link. And like just replace these with something that you know is low poly. Let's see, 17,000 verts. That makes you really appreciate our, what is it, 800 verts? Yikes, I asked for low poly, guys. Come on, do you not have anything low poly? I guess not. Red Solo Cup free VR AR low poly model. Let's see, I'll be the judge. Where is the vert count? Vertices 17,000, 1,700, I mean, oh my gosh. It's like, no. This one looks like it actually could be decent, but it's got too much detail, right? Like this is just too much detail. You got these. Like that's a unique shape. Logo here, that's too funny. Let's see. 5,000 verts. It's not bad for what it is. Take a look at this one. I was hoping it would say on a singular level, but I think the answer is we're doing pretty good. Verts at 1,200. Yeah, 800 is pretty good. Although 1,200 for all of these, or is that just one rotated? It's one rotated. Okay. So yeah, the whole thing is 1,200. Not sure if we can do better. Here we have a different type of cup, and it's running in at 1,000 verts. But it's smoother. It won't have those center things. So it might be able to triangulate, or not, plane with decimate a little bit easier. It does remind me, I don't think we've triangulated the cups yet. Good question. Let's just go a step further on these cups because we need to. Like I said, I think the right answer is to just have somebody who knows what they're doing, make a better one, that understands that Horizon can't have, basically you just need a top ring. So we're going to go to our modifiers. It looks like I didn't even apply the planer. Oh, no, it didn't. I see what happened here. That's really annoying. When I thought I applied it, it had not applied it. It just added it to everything. You have to go through, I guess, and apply it to each. Let's change to collapse, which is going to ruin... Oh, man, that's not going to work. We need to do just one cup and then duplicate these in Horizon because they're going to be animated anyway. So let's grab just one of these, delete the rest. And just remember, we have to multiply by 20. So whatever we have, there are 20 of them. Delete. Focus. Okay, back to planer. Planer does a good job. It's a great starting point, and apply. The next question is, how can we do better? I'm going to slide this up and out of the hole for us to fix later. Now, to get this, period frame selected, and look at the bottom. Look around. Let's go to decimate and add modifier, generate, decimate, collapse. Just go actually insane on this. Okay, so that got rid of the bottom ring, and then the top rings are getting destroyed. Oh, this is doing a decent job right there. It stops being decent. Let's go to 0.6. Okay. We're down to 458. Okay, we just cut it in half. I mean, that's pretty good. Does it look good still? It looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and lock in there. Hit apply. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think we're going to keep pushing the limits. Decimate. Let's go back to preview here. Planer. Okay, planer got it down to 300 with 5 degrees. Preview. I think we might be able to do just slightly better now. Let's go to 10 degrees. It's looking all right. Go ahead and look around. We got a little bit of weird stuff happening there. Theoretically, though, no one's looking inside the cup. Oh, because the interior is different than the exterior. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing that this is two separate pieces. I know how to fix that, though. In fact, I don't even think that's a bit of, it's not even that big of a problem. Try 15 degrees. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to see it like clipping into itself, but this doesn't have, if we go to preview backface culling, not on. Let's see, backface culling previewed, see, not a problem, because you're only seeing the red from this side and you're only seeing the white from this side because they're backface culled. So Actually, not a big deal. We're down to 100. We're down to 133 verts, guys. This is what I should have found when I googled low poly red solo cup. I would have bought it in a heartbeat had I found this. Um, Control save. No, that's the wrong button. Excuse me. Modifiers. Apply. That's it. That is the red solo cup we needed. It is so low poly. 133. Oh my gosh. Multiply that by 10, you're at 1,300. The first version of this was 1,600. We can have 10 for the price of one of the original. That is insane. That is so good. We might have been able to go even better, but like that's good enough for me. Now, we do need to triangulate this, so let's not forget. We need to go to modifiers, add modifier. Let's go and see it. So you can see there are problems, like the bottom has no, scroll down. The bottom has no verts. So that's going to be the big, most noticeable one when we go to generate triangulate. So there you go. You can see the bottom is now triangulated. Now, triangulation doesn't add verts. It just makes it into a triangle. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and preview this. Still looking good. All right, let's go ahead and apply. Boom. We are done. I am so happy. I am like, oh, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was like this close to just being like, oh man, I'm not able to teach this because these darn cups, I can't figure it out. Oh, I'm so glad we got something to work. But I think this is a good opportunity to teach, and something I've been saying to the interns. By the way, we wrapped the internship like in a week and a half. It's crazy. It's almost over. But something I've been saying regularly to them is like, every day I'm doing things that are out of my comfort zone, and it's just kind of like getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And anyway, it's tough, but I think that is at the core of being an indie developer, especially here in Horizon, where there's just so many unknowns, so many new things. You're just constantly being bombarded by things you're not familiar with, and you have to be uncomfortable a lot. And that was uncomfortable. This is definitely one of the more intense optimizations, and we haven't even prepared it to be brought into Horizon, which, by the way, is a bit of a process if you've never brought stuff into Horizon. So we're going to do that too. Okay, let's see here. We've got our cup. We've got our model down here, and it's good enough. Like, I genuinely am probably going to hand this off to an artist to make better. Like, I spent way too much time in Paint. Feel dumb, but whatever. I'm gonna like crop some of that paint stuff out and just be like, ah, that didn't happen. So now that we have our circle and our float, and I deleted those other past things that were on there, the whole thing's down to 3,000 verts for a mini game. And I mean, there's gonna be, let's see, 10 of these, 20 of those. That's another 1,000, 2,000, 2,500. So it's like 5,000 some verts for a mini game. That's not bad if you think about it. 250,000 is the max I recommended for an interactive world, and we're at 5,000 out of 250. That's that's not bad. Now we're gonna need some balls and stuff too, but yeah, this will do the trick for now. Okay. So, last step here is we go to the mesh, we go to materials, we need to make sure that this matches the name float. So we're going to name this float, and that's good. We're then going to our circle, which I want to name cup. There we go. And then this is the red, so I'm going to name this red. And this is going under float, but really it's not float. We're just going to give this a different material name. We'll select this one, seems fine. And we're going to call it white. All right, so now we've got a red material, a white material, and the float has just the float material, and that's it. It's just these two items being brought in. And you can see these have base colors. That's how they're getting their color, but we need to go to texture paint and create some images for this. So we have this one from earlier. We can click image, save as, and we're going to save this as our white. So you just name it white_br, and that will link up to the white texture. So white_br is going to link to our white here. And then we need a red. So we'll go image, new, color, go to RGB, drop green, drop blue. That's red. We might do like 0.2, 0.2. Give it a more red solo cup red. And then click new image. I'm a little worried that that might not be the right red. Try that again. Image, new. I think maybe I needed to go 0.1. 0.1.1. All right, and new image, that's a little bit better. And then image, save as, selecting white as my base name. I can then delete white and replace it with red. There we go, and save as image. Brilliant. All right, so this is now ready. Last thing we need to do is export this whole thing. And to do that, we'll click File, Export, FBX, go into Pool Pong, making sure that it's not limited to selected objects because I've been using that a lot recently. This just allows you to export things you've selected in the hierarchy. And now that we've got that done, we'll just call this Pool Pong FBX, Export FBX. Very nice. Now let's bring it into Horizon. We're not going to save because we have the FBX, which has got everything we care about saved into it. Jumping into Horizon Worlds. I'll take a second to boot up. Give me a moment to load into a world. All right, we should be loading in soon. This is Slumber Party, and boy, oh boy, is it coming along. I cannot wait to launch this world. So if you haven't seen this in a hot minute, oh man, I'm just very excited. Let's get that upload started. So I'm going to put this in our Slumber Party shared folder for our team. We have an assets folder. I need to organize this, so for now I just upload stuff like a madman. Turning off preserve offset pivots, choosing files, going to the Pool Pong folder, selecting Pool Pong, red, white, and float, pressing open, and then pressing import. Give that a second to load, and let's go take a look around. Here is our pool. This is where we're going to be building this. Should be fun. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but it's just going to float here in the pool. And the thing that's weird about our pool is the water level goes up and down, so I have to like animate the whole thing. At some point, it's going to be difficult, but it'll be fun. All right, I'm now going to right-click and place that in front of me. Just using a right-click place has been my new go-to recently. And yeah, look at that, perfect. And I think it's a little small, so we'll probably, like it's true to size right here, but I think it could be bigger, so I'm just gonna scale it up just a hair. Right about there, very nice. And yeah, right-click, preview. Ooh, didn't mean to grab that. Yeah, might even make that bigger at some point. I mean, it's kind of tough because of the size here. In VR, I feel like this is gonna feel a lot better. On mobile, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, let's try something out real quick. Selecting this guy, changing it to first person, jumping into preview mode. In first person, it's gonna feel better, right? Come on. Like this feels a lot better in first person. I might need to investigate this model. Some of the lighting looks a little bit wonky. Oh, it's just because it's nighttime, so the lighting's a little harsh. I guess it's not great. That's why you decimate, guys. You could use unlit. I'm just gonna ignore it though. Like it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy. So having more triangles obviously helps with the lighting. These cup holes are gonna be filled in, so I'm okay with that. Yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty happy here. I also think we might be in the water layer. Are we in the water layer? Feels like it's below the water. But it's like the cup must be right above the water. Anyway, the point was that in third person, it just feels, it feels so much smaller too. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely below the water line. Let's grab the move tool. W key is my new shortcut. Ooh. Oh, I hate when Horizon does that. That is a new bug that drives me nuts. You have to use other axes. There we go. That's not bad. And I like that there's a little bit of water floating in the cup, like, or in the holes. I feel like that's pretty realistic, which is fun. And then we can select this, right-click, unlink instance root. That'll allow us to edit it. We can then also unparent child objects, which would have done that as well. Why isn't there? There should be an unparent child objects. That's weird. Create, right-click, unparent selection. There we go. And Oh yeah, that is really weird. The empty disappeared. Normally the empty stays around. All right, and W key, we can now imagine sliding that into place. Boom, boom, oh, same problem. Select. I'm not sure what fixes this, because eventually it does get fixed, I think. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just tripping. I don't know. Anyway, F key to focus in Horizon, Alt, left click to do the same thing we like doing in Blender. I like that there's a little water on that. That's going to be fun. I just need to tell our team that this is ready for them to make interactive, and they should bring the new code in, which is really exciting. Very, very exciting. I can't wait to check this out. Okay, without further ado, I think we're going to wrap there. If you have any other questions, definitely feel free to ask. I do think it might be wise to look at this just a little bit closer. F key focus, Alt. That's not focusing. F key focus, Alt. There we go. You know, like I said, some of the lighting's weird. This is one of those things where I might send the FBX off to FlexTie and just have him kind of clean this up for me. I also use Galactic a lot for that, but Flex is definitely our kind of go-to for when things are really weird. He's great with topology. So you kind of need to have some, like, especially if you're going to build something on the highest level of what's possible, you kind of need to have someone in your pocket. But like, it's not cheap. You know, like, I bought this model for $7. If there was a model that cost $150, but it was optimized and it was like great topology, that would be cheaper. That's what I'm saying. It's like, talented individuals deserve to get paid for what they're able to do, because it's pretty crazy. But from my experience, finding what you need online is very tough too. All right. I just kind of look at this. I mean, come on now. Water slide? What? That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry. I'm so excited. We got so much work to do. We're not bringing scripts in because obviously they're in code blocks, but we need to remake the water slide script from Splash, and I'm so excited to get to work on that at some point. Definitely need to let me know if there's anything you guys have questions on when this launches that you want to know more about, how we pulled off. But otherwise, that is a wrap. My goodness, that was tough. That was a tough one. I hope it helps. And I'll catch you in Horizon. Bye.